All right, good morning, everyone. Let's keep going here. All right, U.S. markets for the third consecutive session. We had a small pullback on the S&P. I mean, they're small to say the least. I think we've come down 1% over 3 sessions, so there's nothing to really write home about on the pullback. You can see that most sectors did come off yesterday, though, outside of healthcare. What really got the sell-off going was last night's Federal Reserve minutes release, and you know the markets obviously took it as a bit more hawkish, but from what I saw, there wasn't anything real significant in there. You know, that was a change, or that would lead us to believe that you know, things are going to get it tighter, you know, anytime sooner than we already thought. So I think maybe what the market was looking for was, because everyone knows that Janet Yellen's such a dove, is that they were looking for some sort of commentary, very dovish commentary in the release, and I guess it just wasn't there. So that's I think what gave us some sort of sell-off. Look, it wasn't a heavy sell-off. It was just, you know, the people that were betting in that camp are probably looking to take some profit. So we also had the Bullard saying that a strong jobs report would increase the probability of a December taper, which I think we already all knew, so not really giving us any new information there. Asian markets, you can see, came off for the most part. We did have the Nikkei that was up nicely on the day. We had the China PMI numbers, which showed a decrease for the first time in 4 months, which I think kind of weighed on the region a little bit, and it really is. It's a little bit of a turnaround from a lot of the recent data that we've seen out of the region that was so strong. So you know, I think this is going to be something, obviously, we've got to continue to watch. China hasn't been able to rally with good data, so I think with bad data, it may start to falter. Sorry, we skipped one there. All right, this morning we've got Investec that's out with first half numbers. Headline earnings share expected to be 17.5 pounds. 17.5 pence per share, with revenue at 1.06 billion pounds, and then dividend per share looking to be 8 pence. And then we've got breweries also with first half numbers that are going to come out at the open. We're looking for $1.21 on the earnings. We're looking for revenue of 12.38 billion and divvy per share of 26 US cents. So watch that closely at the open. That could get things really going for SA breweries this morning. All right, let's have a look at the maps. First thing we want to look at here is spot gold. You know, we had shown this chart before, and we really looked at kind of this area here. We kind of looked somewhere between this timeline as, you know, breaking down the head and shoulders pattern somewhere along there. And to be honest, I mean, I think we maybe were looking at it a little bit too quickly, because we really just didn't have that. The second side of the neck never really came down and tested nicely, so it wasn't a real classic pattern. And I actually think that we can look at this more as the neckline here. We're kind of running across in that manner there, if we're taking it on a closing basis, and then this is actually the right shoulder. So I think that we were a bit premature and really calling a head and shoulder there, and obviously we had to bounce up out of that. I think that this actually looks a little bit better to me, and I think last night's session on the gold market we broke to the downside of that. I mean, either way you look at it, you know, we've dropped support here in the gold price, and I don't see any reason why we're not going to come back down and test 1200 again, especially with what's kind of going on with global central banks right now. I mean, you even had you know, the European Central Bank yesterday that came out and said they were looking to potentially drop interbank rates. So I just, I don't see how, if the gold price can't rally with things like that going on, then in my mind, it's really struggling. So the weakness that it's showing in the face of a seemingly bullish, news for it is I think key. So if we drop down to 1200, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And some of our stocks are starting to signal that the sell-off's coming there. Okay, sorry for spending so much time on that one. Let's look at Kumba real quick. I'm going to show it on a 30-day. You can see here what the chart looks like in longer term there. Obviously, we're trading back down to, I think, lows of a year and a half plus. Yesterday, we kind of dropped to 400 level for just a little bit of time. We put through some real volume yesterday compared to the rest of the shares in the index. But 400 is obviously going to be a major level for us here. This is one that there's going to be a nice play that's going to be made out of this level one way or another. If we can hold it, obviously, and push higher, there could be some nice money to be made there if we can just hold this for a little while. And then if we trade lower, we break below 400 and can hold it, I also think that there can be some significant money to the downside. The rest of the mining stocks had been trading really well over, a big portion of the time that this thing's just been selling off. It's underperforming. People are nervous, I think, over supply issues and over obviously the iron ore price. So just watch this one closely. We drop 400 here. This thing could continue this thing could have a nice trade on the short side for us. All right, we're going to look at Amplats here. I'm just going to show, Amplats on the year chart here. You can see that we've we're coming down to test support. That's right at $400. We kind of got down there the last yesterday, and we didn't quite test 400, but we really look just like we're putting in a nice descending triangle here, which is definitely a bullish pattern considering we've pushed. We pushed from down here 270 odd all the way up to above 450 in a straight line. We've really just seen consolidation here out to the right. There hasn't been any real significant pullback. So to me, this is a bullish chart. We're still above the 200-day, and 400 is probably to be bought for the time being. But obviously, if we drop 400, we could definitely see some downside in Amplats. All right, staying on the commodity theme and the gold theme in particular, we just talked about the gold price and how it was kind of signaling lower for us here. We're looking at Harmony. Harmony also really coming down. This is a new closing low. I think multi-year closing low. Let's just have a look back at an interest. Yeah, that's just, we obviously, we could probably find that it's a 10-year. Yeah, 10 years. Let's even go back to 20 years just for fun. No, not 20 years. Okay, so we've got a 10-year. We got a 10-year closing low out of Harmony on yesterday's session. Obviously, last night we saw more pressure on the gold stocks. We saw more pressure on the gold price. If this level drops, to me, we've got another $5 to downside, which could take us down to around 26. So this is really important. I think that it kind of holds around the 31 level. Oh no, we closed just below 31, but I think we've got to see a little bit of a punch through from there. If we drop, if we can drop a little bit lower, I really think that we could trade down into the 26, 27 range, which percentage-wise is a nice move from here. All right. Old Mutual. Let's have Mutual. Obviously, been one of the stronger stocks on the board for quite an extended period. Yesterday, I think we traded down to around 32.20 or something like that, 32.25. And you can see there. This is not where we broke out from, but I think it's our first little level of support. Obviously, the breakout happened somewhere. Let me just get that drawn better. The breakout happened somewhere around here. And closer to 30.5. But I think that 32 is definitely going to work as some sort of support here for us. If you're really looking to buy these things and can't wait to get your hands on them, 32 is going to be your level. And I think really where your good value is down here, closer down to $30, which would really be retesting, where we broke out. So keep an eye on Mutual. It's been one of the stronger stocks on the board. Buying the pullbacks here has been working for several years consecutively. All right, and the last one we're going to show is ShopRite. I just want to show this. This thing has been kind of fighting to stay above the 200-day, as you can see there, and also it bounced off its 50-day moving average yesterday. You can see both of those there nicely, and we've really kind of just consolidated between 180 and kind of 172 172, 173 level has been our range for the past few sessions. I think if once we break out of that, we may be able to kind of see where we're going. But if you stretch this out a little bit here, you can kind of see that we're putting a little bit of support in around these sort of levels right now. So for now, I would say that 174 on a closing basis is really kind of what support is on Shoppies. And if we hold there for now, I think we'll be all right. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.